Welcome everybody to more Heroes of the Storm on Khaldor TV. I just came back from Sweden. Actually, I arrived about like 2 hours ago. I had a bit of a very interesting trip back because Lufthansa is currently on a strike and they cancelled my flight. And then we had to rebook the flight. And usually you travel from Frankfurt to Stockholm or Stockholm to Frankfurt, and it's pretty straightforward and it's a pretty short flight as well. But today things went a little bit different. I went from Stockholm first to Hamburg, then from Hamburg to Cologne. And Cologne I had to catch a train that took another like 2 hours roughly to bring me finally back home. So in total I drove, or like I was on the way for like 11 hours for a pretty short distance. Not really the most pleasant experience, but well, there's nothing to be done about it since, well, Lufthansa was on strike, and of course then also the Deutsche Bahn was included as well, and you all know what I think about that company. It's garbage. These guys are horrible. So either way, I arrived and I just came back from Sweden and I casted the FragBite Masters with Tetcher together in Sweden, and well, we had the first part of the tournament at least. We had 2 qualifier tournaments and then the first group, and next week I'm going to go to Sweden again and we're going to record the last 3 days, which is going to be pretty cool. The awesome thing is that the guys allow me to use the recordings here on my channel, so that's exactly what we're going to do right now. We're going to start today. I'm a little bit knackered, so I'm just going to upload 1 map today, and then the rest I will start working on that tomorrow. There's going to be a ton of Heroes of the Storm content on the channel, and guys, I can already tell you one thing. Make sure that you watch each and every single one of these VODs. We're going to start with a fairly normal match, I'd say, but some of the games that we had in the last 3 days that I'm going to upload here on the channel were utterly insane. Some of the best Heroes of the Storm that I have seen in ages. Really awesome stuff there. And some of the newly formed teams, of course, already showed their skills. The video, the editing that we're doing, it might be a little bit different from what we are used to. Also, the quality is going to be a bit different because it was recorded in the studio in Sweden and not with my own setup here, which also had a bit of an influence on the quality. But don't worry about it. It's going to be pretty cool to see either way, and it's going to be good quality too. So yeah, we're going to start with our first match, which is Elysium going up against Euronics. Euronics, by the way, is the old Pushik team. They finally found a sponsor. I'm super happy for the guys because they definitely deserve it. And of course, we've seen also Elysium Gaming around quite a few times. So I'm going to kick things off for the FragBite Master Qualifier with this first one. I'm going to try and remember to include the link to the bracket of the first qualifier in the description of the video. I might forget about that though because I am pretty tired, but I'm going to try. And yeah, if you don't want to get spoiled though, you should probably not click that link because we will have more of those videos in the near future. Now, without further ado, guys, let's jump into the best of 1 right away. I hope you enjoy the content. And yeah, we're not going to have a big outro today because, well, we already have a bit of a game outro, but I hope that you enjoyed the video, and of course keep in mind, if you do, hit that thumbs up button on the video here on YouTube. Guys, thanks for watching already or for going to watch. I don't know, like whatever. See you guys soon. Enjoy the video. But we're going to see how that's going to work out for them in the end as the game has started. And to the left side, we are already seeing our team here. It is the Polish team. It is Euronics with Kreku on Kelthas. We have Zhuf on Muradin, Uberim on Abatha, Gluhammer on Arthurs, and Krolo, who got silenced, bad boy, on Karazim. And to the right side of the map, Elysium with Dirty Sweet on Jaina, Zaka on Stitches, Midge on Brightwing, Nevermore on Reyna, and Monday is playing Tyrael.
So, going to be very interesting to see how these compositions line up. We can have a quick look at the early game talent. And Stitches has in fact gone for that feed me more talent, wants to get that lovely maximum health. So like you said, 7-sided strike could be devastating to him, but you do miss out on that divine palm to save anyone who gets hooked.
The talents is roughly what you would expect here. Not too many surprises. We already talked about Feeding More quite a bit. We have Tyrael going into Regeneration Master, and so does Arthur. So both of the tanks here trying to use that. For Muradin, we still have that Thunderclap talent where he tries to slow down the auto attacks of the opponent's heroes, especially Reyna is of course one of the heroes that he tries to hit with that in those fights, since Reyna is going to have the hardest hitting auto attack in the entire game with his seasoned marksman in the later stages. And I think it's noteworthy to mention that Jaina actually went into the Deep Chill and did not go for Conjurer's Pursuit. Yeah, that is quite interesting. We'll have to keep an eye on her mana in general. There's still potential for Arcane Intellect or the Icy Veins later on.
But now, though, Gluehammer coming in, gets the root, but it is against Reyna, who has that huge health regen. It's healing back up. Is it enough? No, no. There is the kill from Muradin. Gluehammer, though, dropping low, but he is going to be able to get out.
Greco, a hero, throwing himself into the Icelands here in Dirty Sweet, not hitting that. But yeah, in the later stages of that fight, Juve able to land that hammer on Reyna and getting the kill in. With Jaina, we have another hero that just has so much potential for different builds. We see a lot of Conjurer's Pursuit into Snowstorm. We have, of course, Arcane Intellect as a level 4 talent, but sometimes we see Deep Chill into Snowstorm, into Frostbitten, and then later on even Icy Veins. She's a very versatile hero in the way that she can be played, and it's all personal preference, and of course also the synergy with the rest of your team. But a very good start here already for Elysium. So a first kill for them. They don't get too much of an experience lead thanks to that. Actually, at this point, they're a little bit behind, but it looks like they are out for a second kill, but Mondirk jumps away with a Druid's Might.
Yeah, very nice by Mondirk here. And this is a very, very powerful roaming squad. The Arthas Muradin roaming squad is nice, depending on which lane they gank for damage. Right now, though, top lane is a... Abathur is soaking solo against Brightwing here, but there's no way Brightwing can do the damage to kill him off, so he can actually just do this and just keep showing, just like try and bait him in for a potential gank.
Yeah, and look at that level 4 talent that we're seeing for Brightwing here. Now, that's an interesting touch. We don't have Peekaboo here, and we do not have Pixie Dust. Instead, it's the Polymorph talent, so that's something that we don't see in action too often, but I actually like it.
Yeah, the explosive polymorph here could be nice, and that also shows the possibility of a Critterize, because the Critterize does get bonus damage. Sorry, the explosive polymorph does get bonus damage from that Critterize, so you can actually do a fair amount of burst with Brightwing if you do that. Tribute being channeled. Saka showing how Stitches is really good at denying this. There's the hook up to Arthas, but no follow-up, just another long-range denial.
Yeah, as mentioned before, Stitches is going to be one of those extremely powerful heroes for the red team. They have to rely on his hooks if they want to be successful in the later stage of the game. Jaina went into Snowstorm, so we see her with a mass damage build. She is going to have some mana problems, might go into Icy Veins on level 13. But it's going to be a very dangerous hero if Dirty Sweet is okay with his mana management. A double amplified healing now also for Stitches, and we have it for Tutorial. So both of the heroes.
I love this. Amplified healing when you're running with a Brightwing who's just constantly healing as is absolutely lovely. You're not having to worry about it from, say, a Malfurion just for the extra healing, or an Uther just for the extra burst. It's constantly bonus, a constant useful talent there.
It's already insane alone if you like run it with the Regeneration Master, as we see on Tyrael here, but then if you throw the Brightwing in the mix, it is incredible. It's such a good talent. The rest of the setup that we are seeing with the Destruction taken on Arthas for the extra damage on his Frostburn, we are also seeing now the Gravity Lapse talent taken on level 4, of course. And this is going to be a super interesting one. We have a bit of an advantage in experience thanks to Brightwing soaking at the top lane and trying to zone out Abathur at least a bit. So level 7 hitting a bit faster for them, not by too much, but the talents are in play right now. And we have a Mule.
We do have a Mule. Personally, one of my favorite talents in general. And from the Abathur here, other options on this level are still very good, but this Mule going to really help against the constant pushing, especially from this Brightwing in this case. It's just going to try and split push and get some worth out of it. Muradin going very deep here, gets the stun on to Dirty Sweet. In comes the Brightwing now, finally abandoning this, and does have that phase shield hook on the Gluehammer is being dropped low. The polymorph, the body block from Mondirk are so good.
But Gluehammer just goes down, and now it's Juve that they're trying to focus on. Can he still jump? He has the cooldown ready, and Crawler uses the dash. Nice coordination here on the side of the blue team, but they are not out of it just yet. Nevermore walks into the Toxic Nest in Elysium. They catch that tribute. It's a kill for a kill in the game just now. We have Stitches even with Tenderizer now on level 7, so of course everything just hinges on his ability to land that hook and then slowing the target down with Brightwing going into Polymorph in a very early attempt by the blue team to go for bots.
Yeah, very interesting indeed. Arthas walking into that and getting stunned up, but they're going to be able to take this. There is no resistance coming in from Elysium at all. Elysium are actually just going for their hard count. They don't have any clue that this is going on, and now that Crack is showing, it's even less likely that they're going to have any idea. So this is just going to be a free boss for Euronics.
That was very risky. I mean, if that is detected at this point, of course, have still the minds on Abathur that can at least predict a little bit what's happening if somebody is moving into that jungle area. But that was a very greedy move, and it worked out perfectly for them. They could have, of course, disengaged, but on level 8, they decided to go for boss right away. And that is giving them a very nice position now on the map.
Yeah, it is very nice indeed. Further tribute is up. Krolu already channeling on that, and nice body box from Gluehammer there, preventing Saka getting anywhere near. Saka getting locked down there though. But he was able to use his own Devour to get back a load of health, but Muradin's not done yet. There's the Flame Strike. Saka gets healed, but it's not enough, and he goes down.
Showcasing, of course, also one of the problems that Stitches has. With that talent on level 1, he will have a very high hit point pool later on, but he doesn't really have an escape or anything. He has no chance to really get away here, and in such a scenario, he needs to be healed, which was what Brighton was trying to do. Once that we have Blink Heal in play, it's going to be much easier to keep a hero like Stitches alive, but the level 10 hits a bit faster on the side of Euronics. We have them now with their abilities, and it is indeed the 7-sided strike, a great talent as it is percentage-based damage based on the hit point or the max hit points of a hero. So against Stitches at the front line, it is going to be incredibly good, but of course it's going to be difficult to keep the hook target alive if that hook actually lands.
And of course there is the potential for that counter against 7-sided strike from the Sanctification from Tiro, which we have seen has been taken. We also have Blink Heal on the Brightwing and the Putrid Bile on Stitches. Water Elemental from Jaina and the Hyperion from Reyna. And once again we see it, the root on to Tiro. There's Sanctification. Saka already still at full health and finally able to blink it into the background to get away. Uberim is just the clone here. He will get picked off. And there's the hook onto Karazim. Can he dash out? No, he can't. Nice pick up there, and that is the beauty of Stitches.
Stitches gets the hook in. Hyperion was already committed to the fight. It was a very good Hyperion that we saw from Nevermore there. Great zoning, and it forced the blue team back, and the kill against Karazim just in time to secure that tribute for Elysium. So very nice coordination here. Once again, up to the top, of course, Uberim with his Abathar trying to give his team a slight experience lead. And so far successful in that. We have 2 kills against 2, but with that tribute now taken by Elysium, it is a chance for both of those teams to get a curse with the next tribute. And both of them will have to dedicate their entire lineup to it.
Yeah, both of these teams have just been putting up such a good fight so far. It's almost completely even, other than, like you said, that slight XP lead we're seeing for Abathar, which did let Euronics get level 10, and in this case level 12, a little bit faster, but Elysium right on their heels keeping up here. So this next tribute fight, it's all going to be down to it. There it is, up in the top, and immediate rotation from Elysium.
Yeah, the fort at the bot lane, of course, was taken out earlier by the boss, and therefore still a slight experience lead on the side of Euronics. We have no level 13 talent yet for either one of these teams. Everybody's getting into position. Abathar already down to the bot lane, trying to wait for the copy. In comes Zaka. Montauk with a smite. There comes the hook, and immediate blizzard, but Krolu dashes away, and this time no kill for Elysium Gaming.
Abathar not coming in with that ultimate evolution yet, trying to buy it out for as long as he can. Phoenix will delay this tribute for Elysium for a while. But Elysium just regrouping. They're in the top lane, still soaking the XP here, and they've managed to zone that out from Euronics here. And these teams can just deny each other forever here, so it's all going to be down to when they start to fight.
Double stun already hitting, and we have Zaka trying to just use his buddy at the front line. He has the most hit points here. Great hook against Kalpas, and immediately the Blizzard is in. 7-sided strike already used, and Kreku somehow gets away. Krolu jumps in. Mondag is thinking about jumping in too, but we have in the backline Uberim with a copy of his Abathar going straight for Reyna, pushing him back. Juve is nearly dead, jumps away. Kreku going back into the fight, and the blue team is all of a sudden in a huge amount of problem. Elysium is moving into the first kill against Arthas, but they're not done just yet. They're jumping on Kalpas, trying to get the next one. Maybe the counter kill against Stitches. Not happening just yet, but that tribute is going to put the curse on Euronics Gaming.
Great play by Elysium there, and we saw Mondak get in the front line for so long there while the cloned Arthas was in his team's backline, just holding up. He almost got picked up but was able to get out and get that blink heal. However, looks like it may be all for naught here as he will get picked off, but it is still a curse when it's able to explode, and we're seeing the boss being taken by Elysium.
It was such a great hook that we saw from Saka against Kel'Thas. They need to take him down just there, but somehow he survived. Karazim keeping him in play, and then he could turn around and go back into the battle. The curse, of course, on the blue team right now. Again, the chance to get a good hook in there, but they got already a kill against Elysium, and therefore it's not only... Well, the problem for Elysium is they got the curse against Euronics, but they lost Tyrael, so they can't really move out on the map as aggressive as they would like to, just because they don't have an opportunity to take these fights without Tyrael.
Yeah, Euronics, actually, despite losing that fight and getting cursed, do have a single level advantage. We're able to kill off Tyrael and deny that boss from being taken. So great crisis management there, putting themselves in a lot of control. Both teams with their level 13 talent. So Khaldor is at that wonderful level of Chain Bomb now. But Brightwing already with that Pixie Dust, so it has a small counter to it.
Yeah, and also we have Muradin with no respect whatsoever for Jaina. He went into Burning Rage in level 13. No Spell Shield or any of these talents that he could have taken here. Could have gone into the extra damage with the Thunderclap talent too, which he decided not to. Arthur's at least with the Spell Shield and Karazim with the Relentless. But when we're looking at the red team, we now see Relentless taken also for Stitches. That's going to make it a bit easier for him to survive at the front line, since he has to deal with all these warriors that we see for Euronics that try and lock him down so that the focus can happen. The boss up at the top is being contested now by both of the teams, but we still have that lead that you've been talking about, Tetcher. Euronics is a level ahead.
Yeah, and if they can continue to soak this, which Abathur is continuing to do, they will hit level 16 first, and that is going to in no way, shape or form allow Elysium to take the bottom so they can soak that for themselves. But they're finding a way to do this. Brightwing's still soaking mid lane, and the rest of the team were able to push in a little bit at the top lane. They can't go for the fort because it is too risky. But they can at least hang around this area, kill off some minions. It looks like they're going to split up a bit more, maybe go for some more lanes, and Abathur continuing to soak.
Abathur has a huge problem for Elysium right now. He is everywhere. He's using the symbiote, he's using his body, he's soaking 2 lanes and time to get... And what a hook once again against Kreku! He gets the shield, Arcane Barrier, level 16 just in time, and now they jump in with another 7-sided strike, and Elysium is in so much trouble. They're all just trying to run away, but they're down in talent, down 2 levels, and they try to escape to the safety of the fort.
Mondirk backing out. He is the lowest right now. Vinchvik trying to stay near him, trying to heal. In fact, an amplified healing. They're both dropping low. Mondirk goes down. He's going to stay on the enemy. He's going to try and at least bar Boomerang, which he does do. Saka now trying to retreat. If he gets locked down by either of the warriors here, he is in trouble, but he's able to back away. And now we are seeing Elysium try to turn it a bit, but there's no one that can really catch out here. Saka throws in the hook, and it does not land.
These hooks are so scary. It's a 4 versus 4, so to say, since we don't have a copy on Abathur, but of course he can still jump in with his symbiote. We have him at the bot lane right now, pushing the lanes. That level 16, I mean, that was perfect timing. The hook against Khaldor hits home, and at the same time, level 16 is there. He quick picks the talent and immediately uses his Arcane Barrier, which keeps him alive. Great move here on the side of Khaldor, and that was just so incredible by Kreku, and it's so important to win that fight.
Yeah, that Arcane Barrier is just such a big shield, especially against a team like this, which isn't actually locking you down. It's just trying to burst you. So that shield is beautiful. Saka getting 7-sided strike deleted from the map, takes it all. And, well, that is what percentage damage can do to someone like a Stitches.
Yeah, definitely. That's, of course, the ideal scenario for Karazim, and that's the one counterplay that you have against that level 1 talent on Stitches. When he is getting such a high hit point pool, he can get so much damage in with Karazim. Another boss now taken. The red team is cursed. They finally hit the level 16, and now we are finally seeing that fishing hook in play that Stitches can use to get one of these hooks. Long distance hooks could definitely turn this game. And we have, at this point, a huge commitment also on the side of Reyna, who went into Executioner. They want to make sure that they get the most damage out of Reyna. And let's just face it, him and Stitches, these two have to win them the game right now.
Yeah, we do have the combos that we talked about earlier. That Northern Exposure, I believe, is the talent coming in. It could also be the root from the Jaina, and the Critterize coming in from the Brightwing. So we do have that large amount of extra focus damage that they can finally manage to burst someone down with when they get those hooks. And, of course, the Holy Ground from Kira, which could also block someone in and give them a chance to get a kill.
Yeah, boss is taken at the bot lane now, whereas the red team is still defending the top lane. So that is of course like the big advantage that you get when you are starting to take a bit of a lead here. You can take the first boss, your opponent has to make the decision whether they want to defend against it or if they want to contest boss number 2. Euronics ends up taking both bosses and they can now push into the bot lane. They are way ahead in experience, but they do not have the talent advantage anymore. And especially Reyna at this point can do a whole lot of work with that Executioner, with Giant Killer. The 2 tanks that we're seeing for Euronics are going to be in so much trouble, especially if Stitches lands one of these hooks, and that's what they have to rely upon right now.
Yeah, it no longer matters who Stitches hooks. We saw him hanging around at that edge there at a point where he could hook through, but it was not going to work out. So now the gate is gone. He's looking for his opportunity to grab someone and pull them in. They don't want to get rooted, but they do need to clear out that boss. Stitches getting knocked up, but that relentless. He's able to stay alive. However, does spread the living bomb to Nevermore there. There's the hook on the Kerosene, but the immediate radiant dash to get out of there.
Great dash, and of course we have now the blue team trying to run with the advantage that they have. They're going in once again. Uberim, on the other hand, is isolated, so the Abathur copy is gonna fall. They already took the keep, so it's not gonna matter too much to them, and they will also hit level 20 in only a few more seconds, and that Storm Talent is going to give them a massive lead, especially since they're 2 levels ahead. It's going to take a long time for Elysium to come back and gain even talents with their opponents.
Yep, and we have the extra damage on 7-sided strike from Kerosene. As if he already wasn't countering Stitches enough, he wants more. So that extra 4 hits, I believe. Yep, on that 7-sided strike. And we have double Hardened Shield from Muradin and Arthas, making them even tankier, and that's going to help them survive against Reyna, who was basically the only hope for taking either of these guys down.
These are brutal level 20 talents. Transgression, as you mentioned, for Kerosene is going to be great against the front line of Elysium. Then we have the added mobility on Kalthas, who can also blink out, especially when he gets hooked. It's perfect. He has Arcane Barrier, he has the Bolt of the Storm, he just can get away every single time he gets hooked now. And we have with the Hardened Shields, and also let's not forget about the Hive Mind on Abathur. Great talents for the rest of the team to just like stay alive. Here comes the hook, even dodged, and we see again Euronics starting to push in. The former pushing team, the Polish team, is starting to go straight for keep number 2. Phoenix already in play, and they're going for it. Uberim with a copy on Arthas, goes straight for Jaina in the backline again. Dirty Sweet needs to save himself with an ice block. Gets away, at least for now. The Death Call not eliminating him, but the rest of the blue team, in the meantime, took down the keep, and that's all they wanted.
Yeah, but they have 2 out of the 3 keeps now, and the top one is vulnerable thanks to a combination of Boss and, in this case, Siege Giants. Abathur is sneaking towards the tribute here, and there is nothing that Elysium could do about it. So this is just a free tribute here for Euronics here, and now they're pushing into the final keep. They lock down Stitches. 7-sided strike does so much damage. He is getting healed, and he will get out.
Oh, great
play. There's the Bolt of the Storm.
The Bolt of the Storm, the Arcane Barrier. Monderg jumped in. He's trying to go for Kalthas, but he doesn't get the kill, and now he himself is eliminated. Arthas might fall. No, he's not. He uses the Hardened Shield, still has it up. Great play there. Oh, the hook again! Saka! This time the kill, and that will give them, in just a second, level 20.
They're finally able to make that hook work, picking someone off. Forcing Kalthas to throw his Bolt of the Storm, though, is absolutely beautiful for Elysium, because now Kalthas doesn't have that escape mechanism for quite a while. They're going to have to wait that out, and level 20 available for Elysium as well.
Yeah, that's where the fun starts for Reyna. Nexus Frenzy. I mean, he was thinking about maybe going, like, let's just face it, at this point as a Reyna player, of course, you would probably like to go, like a lot of Reyna players would probably like to have a bit more safety. But if you're playing with the Stitches, you're trying to pull the opponent into your comp, and you know that you're so far behind that you need to risk something, this is the talent to go for.
They've completely ignored the whole lockdown strategy here. They're just going for the fact that Jaina kinda slows, and that's about it, and that's the executioner damage for Reyna. They just have to kill off whoever Stitches hooks.
These fights, I mean, 2 keeps are down, so of course Euronics is ahead, but these fights could turn the game. Elysium with 1 good hook could really start to change things, especially with Reyna now dishing out so much damage. That Nexus Frenzy on top of Executioner and Giant Killer is going to be insane.
Yeah, they have the presence here to actually push back Euronics. Despite Euronics, like you said, being ahead, Euronics aren't willing to throw the game in this way. They're just going to let that tribute go. It is only the first one for Elysium, but that's how much presence and how much fear this level 20 Elysium lineup does give out. Yeah, down to the bot lane, we have a massive push already happening with a lot of waves, and especially, of course, that Siege Giant camp. Abathur is trying to play against that, but the next fight in Heroes of the Storm can decide a game. If you start losing heroes, if there's a team wipe and then 2 bosses are taken, you find yourself in an awkward spot. Once again, a boss attempt on the side of Euronics, but this time they move back as the Abathur Toxic Mine reveals that Elysium Gaming is trying to contest it. Yeah, but Elysium Gaming, they don't need to contest or take the boss. All they need to do is to stop Euronics taking it, because that would put too much pressure on them. All they have to do is delay. Euronics, though, they're just going to have another go here, and they're moving up to the top lane, and this time, Elysium aren't reacting as quick. Mitch is up here. He could scout this, but he needs to be careful he doesn't die. There's the Arcane Flare. He does see this, but it's going down so quickly. Can they react to this in time? I don't think they can.
Might be too late. I think it is. I think it's late. Dirty Sweet moves in, Nevermore 2, but the two tanks are not here. They can't go into this. They cannot possibly try to attack right now. Dirty Sweet a bit too fast with this heroic, uses the water elemental. Well, that's one heroic down already. That's not going to be useful for him.
Yeah, but they're still going to use it. It does have a bit of duration, getting the slow onto Muradin, but he does jump out. Continue to chase there, but they can't go any further. So they're going to back up here. Mondo does not get rooted, so he's going to be able to get knocked up, actually. There's seven-sided strike, and Mondo popping that Hardened Shield, keeping himself alive, and now it looks like they may want to try and turn it. There's the Hyperion coming down. Can they knock it down? There's the Sanctification. That's what they need. Can they make this fight go in their favor? The Blizzard hits everyone, but Mondo is still so low.
Reyna goes in. Tyrael is down, and Reyna the entire time with a stutter step trying to push them back. Going for the penetrating round here too. The attempted lockdown against Brightwing with a Howling Blast, but Mitch jumps away with a Blink Heal. In comes the Bareem on the other hand. This time the copy on Muradin. That double Stormbolt. Juve misses his, but it doesn't matter. There comes once again an attempt to lock down Saka with a Howling Blast. They get it. He turns around, chews them up, gets the hit points back, but it's just too much. They jump and take him down. Two heroes down and the boss on the core. This is going to be game, and Euronics is going to advance here at the FragBite Masters.
Super impressive game there, and Elysium fighting right up until the end, but Euronics, those two keeps they took earlier in the game were just devastating. They were able to have so much boss control on the map. Like, did Elysium get a single boss that game? I think they got one.
They didn't. Like, the big problem that they really had here was that when they finally hit the level 20 talents, they didn't keep tabs on the bosses, and when they started to move in, that fight alone was, of course, like a big problem. Like, they lost the fight too, but even if they win that fight, or even if they, like, don't lose a hero this early, with Tyrael being completely isolated from the rest of the team, the problem that they still have is that that boss is attacking the last keep that remains on the map. And that keep was already down to, I think, like 20%.
It had already
15.
been hit by a boss and a Siege Giant camp previously,
Exactly.
so it didn't have much chance. Their only chance, to be fair, was to fight, but they just couldn't do it. It wasn't in their favor. Mondo took too much damage at the start, and then they started to get split up, and that was it.
The problem is, even if they actually, like, push them back and engage into a battle where they split, that boss is still going to push the lane.
Yeah.
That keep is not going to hold, and then the boss is on core. And this late in the game, we all saw how much damage that boss actually put on the core already. So what they needed to do was jump the opponent's team, take it down, run back and defend against the boss, and that's just not going to happen there. Their mistake was really to not pay attention to the top boss. They all thought that we had Elysium Euronics still at the bot lane trying to aim for theirs.